TST 2023, the 20th year here. We're in Terrytown?
I think so.
How do I say that? Terrytown? Maybe because the first cigarette I ever smoked was a Terryton. Maybe that's why I say that. Yeah. Just north of New York City at the TST Big Event, tstseminars.org, the technician service training. Thank you to G. Truly and his wife, Doreen, and the entire volunteer staff from TSD. 20th year. I'm with Liz Perkins, and she happened to bring her husband, Keith.
I'm here.
With her, by her side. There's 3 businesses, at least that I know of today: L1 Diagnostic Programming, L1 Training, Level 1 Automotive. Why don't you just put all that under one big name?
Yep, that's the plan. The L1 Auto Group is the name.
I love that.
Yeah, he likes to, gather up the LLCs and, websites and yeah.
So how many you own besides these?
Oh, domains, probably like 30.
Yeah, I own a bunch too. I just come up with an idea and I go buy one.
Yeah, so right now most of them will redirect to me, and some of them are out of sheer hilariousness.
Yeah. Do you own KeithPerkins.com?
I don't.
See, I own CarmCapriato.com.
Yeah, so KeithPerkins.com was taken before I was old enough to even recognize it as a thought process. The drummer for No Doubt, his name is Stephen Perkins, which is my first name.
Yeah.
Actually, I go by my middle name. So, I've tried all that. Other people have them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, nobody has mine, and I own it. And when you type that in,
it's very unique.
It goes to Remarkable Results Radio.
Yeah. It's like a superhero, because it's CC, Peter Parker.
Ooh.
If you look at some Marvel stuff, yeah.
Bill Nalu calls me C squared.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means that I'm square Clark or it's like C to the second power. I don't know.
Yeah. Clark Kent, Peter Parker, that kind of Carm Capriato.
Ooh.
Superhero.
Well, thank you. Oh, okay. We can end right now. I've got my takeaway.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you.
There's so much going on. You just did an incredible few hours this morning here at the TST event. You were on the main stage, and we always kid about classes on basic electricity. We kid about how do you get 400 people in a room to a basic electricity class.
Yep.
And you have to find the right title.
Yep.
So what was yours?
Advanced Application of Fundamental Electrical Theory.
I just love that. Just do.
Yeah.
And
if I told the truth, nobody'd show up.
So any feedback when you were done?
Yeah, I got a lot of good feedback. I'm my biggest critic every time, and I always tweak everything. During class, I look at Liz and I go, hey, will you write that down? Because somebody will ask a question, I'm like, we need to address that. So, because for each individual that asked a question, 10 people were afraid to ask it.
Sure,
right?
Sure, yeah.
Right. So, great questions today from the, we've got a powerhouse audience here.
Yeah.
This is cream of the crop. So, a lot of stuff I had to make some assumptions about the level of technician we have, and then I have to skirt that assumption and still bring in the foundations, right? I don't want to leave anyone behind.
Yeah.
So that's the worst part about electrical. Everyone could redo a foundational class, but then the guys are going to get bored because there's some fantastic guys in here.
So this is the only event, I think, in America where the attendees get a tablet. And all of the notes and the handouts are there. So Keith gets up this morning and says, like a typical trainer, I was working on this thing last night at 10 o'clock. I made some tweaks to it. And then I think you put up a QR code to say if you want the most recent version of this, I put it up online and they would scan it and get it and put it into their tablet.
Yep.
So that it was as fresh as when you just finished it the night before.
Yeah.
Everybody does that, don't they? They're always tweaking.
Yeah. Oh, we can't leave stuff alone. Talking to somebody at the bar or something last night and you're like, oh, that needs to be in the class.
Wait a minute. You went to the bar after we drank all that wine?
Oh, I had to go say goodnight to a friend of mine. Yeah, I had one beer. Just one drink.
Oh, my. Anyway, so there's so many stories to tell about last night. And Tracy's on with us, by the way.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
So there's a reason Tracy is on with us, first of all, because her and Liz last night, we couldn't separate them. And there's a reason why, and I'm going to tell you that in a minute. But Tracy was on episode 39 with the Walkers on the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast. If you have not listened to episode 39 and Tracy's full-length interview, I listened to it on the way down, and I was so incredibly proud of what she did. So I want her to really be a very big part of this interview because last night, it seemed that Liz and Tracy wanted to become like food critics. or tours.
We're on our way.
Yeah.
We're on our way. We recorded, I don't know, approximately 49 videos
Oh my
yeah,
God,
at
yeah.
least. Yeah.
of all of the food because
Mhm.
Liz and Keith, it was their first time going to Rigoletto's. So we really wanted to capture what it's like eating there with unlimited food that comes at you full force. So we can
So
describe
many
it
rounds.
all we want, but
Yeah.
to take video and see the platters coming out, you're not even finished, more come out, more come out, more come out. I figured, you know what, this might be a good like inside kind of look into eating for 3 hours straight, meat and pasta.
The behind the scenes nurturing of the trainers, because all the people that were at that meeting were either the volunteers or the trainers that are here today, and many of the vendors that supported the different levels of support. And I actually, a few times I had to get behind the camera. I'm sitting next to Tracy while her and Liz are just, oogling and goggling.
Yeah.
What were there, 15 courses you guys did?
I was going to say, you did 49 videos, so you missed 3 courses.
Yes.
Yes. Darn it!
Since there were 52 courses that came.
Oh, amazing. What was your favorite food, Liz?
I really like the ravioli and the meatballs.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are like top 2.
The top 2 for you. How about you, Keith?
No lime meatballs and what was the meat before that? It was all the meat wrapped up together.
The brajol.
Oh, the brajol. Yeah.
Yeah, the brajol.
was
My
good.
favorite was the deep fried mozzarella wedges.
Yeah.
I loved the flavor of that, and the chicken rigoletto. That was near the end.
Yeah.
There was
With the bell pepper on it.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was just so good. And by that time, the stomach's in a emergency room finding zone.
Yes.
Well, I was
Maximum
prepped ahead of
capacity.
time and ate
Yes.
maybe 1 or a half of each of the things. So I actually did good. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
Well,
I didn't feel miserable for sure because you guys really set the stage. Like, you will not leave hungry at all. It will keep coming at you. And they didn't lie, guys. Like, it
was
is
great.
food after food after food and things I've never, ever tried before. What, oysters or what was that?
Clams.
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 I never
Yeah,
had
baked
clams
clams.
in a shell like that. I don't think I've ever had handmade ravioli that was from down the way by somebody's mama,
I love it. G loves to come up with the list of courses, and there had to be 15.
Yeah.
There just had to be. The waiters, the waitresses, the service, you didn't want for anything. First of all, he loves to cook himself, by the way. And I'm Italian, but he's Italian.
Yeah.
And to a much higher degree than I am, because we did not grow up in a family. It was basic. It was lasagna, and it was spaghetti, and it was raviolis, and the grandmas and the moms made their own dough, but G takes it to a completely new level. In fact, if I ever go to Italy, he's got to be my tour guide. I think. So anyway, ladies, Trace, tell us a little bit about that whole food thing. Are you going to edit this thing down into something manageable?
Let's hope. Let's hope. I kept telling Liz, do you think anyone else is going to watch this besides our moms? And we were like, probably just our moms.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I do want to be able to see the videos and release it because I think it'll be really cool to see how many courses that there are.
Yeah.
And we can actually tally that up.
I know.
Have we ever done an episode, husband and wife, together? Or is this the first
I
time
don't
with
think
you
so.
guys?
Yeah, we just done them separate. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. Husband and wife, you guys, I know that the office is in the house. Am I right? Or did you finally move it?
We have both. We have an office in the house. We moved in together.
Oh, you told me. That's right. You moved from downstairs to upstairs so that you could be around all the action?
Yes.
Yeah.
Be
That's
back
cool.
up together in one office. Yeah. And then we've got an office at the shop together also.
Yeah.
So.
So any alone time, husband and wife time, non-business time together?
Yes.
We both enjoy it so much that our kids kind of constantly, hey, can we not talk about work, Mom and Dad?
Oh, it's the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I think that our passion for the industry, like, doesn't make it feel like it's work all the time. We find like comfort in just like, hey, like, we have this idea, like, what do you think? And we'll just roll with it. And we're driving on the road. He'll miss like 7 turns because we're just talking about it,
I am 100% directionally challenged.
Yeah.
And I autopilot everything. So if we get in the car, we're headed to work. Doesn't matter where we're actually going, what day it is, I start heading to work.
This is truth from Keith Perkins right here.
Yeah. I have one outside hobby now. But I've never had outside hobbies, never did anything. It was work and then home and hanging out with the kids and the wife. We enjoy being with each other.
Do you drive in together?
No. So, well, I guess sometimes would be the correct answer. But most of the time, no, we both drive in if we're both going to go to the office. Sometimes he stays home. On the days that we both go in, I leave around 2:20, 2:30 in the afternoon so I can go home and get our kids. But for the most part, like when we can ride together, we like that, and then of course we're talking the whole
Summertime, we ride together a lot.
But you're responsible to be the co-pilot.
Oh, yeah. I have a responsibility. But also, like, I can't tell him too much. Like, if I tell him which parking space,
that's
off limits.
Yeah.
Let me park where I want to park, he says.
But you got to get me to the parking lot first.
Yes.
So I always tell my wife who wants to co-pilot with me way too soon then, and don't forget we have to get off here. Mm-hmm. I know that, honey. Well, sometimes you forget. And I said, no, I got that this time. And I said, did you do me a favor? If it doesn't look like I'm going to get off, then say something. Otherwise, try to let me be good and do this on my own, because if you keep telling me what to do, I'm going to lose that cognitive ability. You just can't.
I am exactly the same. We have the same conversation.
100%.
She's like, don't forget you're going to get off. I'm like, I know. And she's like, yeah, but you would just drive by it sometime. I'm like, not this time. I know what I'm doing.
I can watch his hand on the steering wheel, and if it twitches a finger, like he's going to move this,
I've
the
got
turn
tells
signal.
for turn signals.
Yeah. I think after 17 years, I do know his tells. Yeah. Even when he was on stage today, he was swallowing kind of hard. And I was like, okay, he needs water. So I went and found him a water bottle. I just know. I think he does the same for me, though.
Yeah.
And we know when we need to take time away. When we need to have no work, no kids, just take some time. So we do that. It's definitely not as often, I think, as we would like, but we'll have a family that'll take them over the night. We're like, hey, let's just have pizza and a movie, or let's go out, or whatever.
So you do know how to find some downtime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
rare,
it's a planned downtime, but
it's not planned. What you're saying, you look at each other and say, we need some downtime, or do you go out and schedule it Tuesday night, we're going to go to the movies?
It's like a mutual, we
say
figure it out.
Yeah, it's pretty organic. It's really organic.
It's organic. So you guys are really one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're one.
Yeah.
We spend almost all day together nonstop. The only time I'm without her a normal day is between 2:30 and 5.
And more importantly, you're friends first?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, and you laugh a lot?
Oh.
Yeah.
See,
that's actually what the first thing that really attracted me to him, because I actually liked his best friend and he liked my best friend, but then he just kept making me laugh and kind of warm, I was like, oh, hey.
Yeah, we went to tech school together. We went to different high schools, but we went to the same campus for tech school.
Yeah.
For 2 different programs, neither automotive, by the way.
Yeah.
But we met on the bus.
Yeah.
It took us from our high school to.
That's the only way we met.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Oh, first time on the internet. Crazy small world story. Your grandfather proposed to my grandmother.
Yes.
She was born in Germany. I was born in Oklahoma. And our grandparents lived in a town with less than 700 people across the street from each other.
Oh, I would say less than 200. I mean, that was a small town.
The town is so small, it got its first printed street signs in 2018 or something, and there's no high school.
No, there's no school.
Yeah, they got 4th grade or something.
Oh, really?
Up to 4th, 5th grade. Then they go to the town we live in now. So our grandparents lived across the street from each other, and we're almost married.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if almost.
Yeah,
my grandma said no.
Yeah. She denied.
Well, speaking of proposals, so I'm getting married this year, September 15th, and I hear that's a very lucky day for a strong marriage.
Yes.
It is. I can attest to that.
It is our anniversary.
Yeah.
That's why I picked the date.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You were like,
as soon as I heard about that,
Liz and Keith's she's Googling.
Yeah.
We actually started dating on the 15th of January.
Yeah.
Long story short, there was some conflicts that we couldn't get married on that same date. So we're like, hey, what other month doesn't have anyone else's birthdays? Because no one wants to celebrate an anniversary and a birthday.
She's one of 8. So.
Oh, that's
so. Wait a minute. You met in January and you got married in September?
No, the following year.
The following year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still short. I mean, we were both.
Yeah.
I was 19. She was 18.
Yeah.
Wow.
I met him when I was 16.
So I got to tell you this because it's burning a hole in my mind.
Sure.
This whole mapping thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a class you have to give.
Okay.
Advanced application of fundamental mapping theory.
Yep.
So you can teach wives how and when they should speak up when their spouse, either or, I guess, is going to make the wrong move.
Oh, okay.
And then there's this other one, advanced application of fundamental dating theories.
Oh.
And so I think you guys can do that.
Here's the problem, though. We were in high school, so we, as far as dating goes, we are not knowledgeable, especially like online. And
when we were dating, cell phones just got texting, and you had to hit a button 3 times
or 4. Yeah.
To get a letter out.
Actually,
so this dating app thing, we don't know anything about it. We don't know anything about dating apps. Don't know anything about any of that culture.
What's actually super funny is AOL Instant Messenger was like the thing. And I saved all of our conversations and that computer like crashed. I mean, this is 16 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And I was so sad. I was like, oh man, there goes all of our conversations. Now they're like backed up to a cloud and like you can't unfind it, you know?
Yeah.
Wow. And you made it without all that high-tech gadgetry.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are an exception to the rule.
We are very much so.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we grew together
Yes.
as the years went on.
Tell.
We're different people than what we were when we were in high school,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
That's the hardest part, I think, is growing together when you're so young into adult life, into a professional career. And you're right, you're not the same person as you are at 19 as you are at 35.
And you have to allow yourself and together to change. I've said this in the past. I could look at every decade of mine, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and you look back at those decades. And sometimes life was good when you turned, for example, 20 years old and 30 years old and 40 years old. 30 wasn't a great decade, but 40 was okay. And I can go back to where was I, where were we in the goals that we had set. And when I think back to all of those evolvements, if you will, we had to let it happen because you don't stay stationary. And if you do, you're old and you're crotchety and you're sitting in the corner and you're drooling with a diaper under your chin.
That's right.
Okay? But otherwise, you have to let it happen.
Yeah.
And for you guys, it seems, even though 15 years now?
17 together, 15
17.
married, over 15.
Well, coming up in your 20th year, no matter what your birthdays are, there's an evolution of not only time and birthdays, there's an evolution of the anniversaries of your marriage. And if you're developing and growing and doing all those great things, continuing together.
Yeah. I think it's a choice. Every day you choose this. I think when you have an exit strategy or an exit option, then more people will follow that. Well, I can just leave. I can just stop being married. You know. But every day I choose him and he chooses me. I brought up that fluid thing in the women's, the spouses podcast we did at Vision. And it's so true. It ebbs and it flows back and forth. You know, if he's gone and doing training events, like, I mean, it's up to me.
It's 99% her running the show.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And so I think that, also having the same goals and ambitions and dreams. And I mean, he's created this passion for me in the automotive industry, and then for everyone to collectively come together and just be so kind, and willing to lift you up in the industry. All of those things combined. Now we have like this totally new goal that we never started out having, and now we have this totally different vision of what our future looks like, and it's ever changing, by the way. Like we constantly, well, what if we went down this road and we like look ahead what that would look like, I mean, is that a best move, or should we like pivot and go that way?
Have you ever taken, Keith, the Gallup or Clifton Strengths Finders test?
Years ago.
All right. Well, you should get it if you can sign up and take a look at those top 5. And you may find strategic in your top 5 because it's my first strength.
Yeah.
Strategic. And when I went back and started to study it, and of course I revisit those top 5 strengths often to really want to know. Every once in a while I get into, Tracy knows this, we got to do this, I have an idea about that. And that's my strategic think coming out, right? And ideation is my 4th. So can you imagine I'm trying to ford the river and I got to have this thing to help me do it, right? These whole ideas. You end up realizing how you're built.
Yeah. So I've done a lot of stuff like I'm very similar in that. So what was it, about probably 2.5, 3 years of my college education was spent in psychology. So I got way too much over analyzing myself for a lot of that. So I don't do a lot of those because I will intentionally try to manipulate, knowing what I am. I know what I am, so I kind of just go with the flow. It doesn't change much, and had some weird challenges that's brought up over the years on not over analyzing myself. So yeah,
I feel you with that because I have a hard time with those kind of tests because I feel like the question that they ask is so situational.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need more of a backstory. You want me to answer this question? Well, what was my day?
Oh, mine.
What
Mine, I go, I know what
mine?
you want. So I know what you're asking, and I know why you're asking it that way.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like, this is the answer they want for this. So I think realistically, I do this. Just way too.
But
way
wait
too
a
much.
minute. They do put questions in there to catch and trap you.
Yes.
And then they take, I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
The algorithms in the final score. But every one of those tests, if it's the discommunications, if it's the strengths finders, they put stuff in there.
Yeah. They put distractor questions to lead off to determine your intent in the actual taking of the test and taking of it.
We got the first 10 questions are the overanalyzers, and then the ones that counter at the end.
That we can analyze the stats on it and go, well, this individual was attempting to do this with their answers, but we are able to extrapolate this from that.
Hey, look, if you earn your living in the automotive service aftermarket, Apex is for you. Now, if you attended Apex 2022, then you realize the incredible commitment that Apex has to the service professional shop owner and technician. Joe's Garage is your place to be with 10 working bays as you experience real live working conditions along with exciting demonstrations and the latest equipment presented. Also, the best tech companies from tools and repair to management software had their latest and the greatest on display. You also attended technical business management training with the industry's best and brightest. Work is already underway to make next year's Apex 2023 even better than ever, with more product demos, trending training, marketing, and the latest in business management training to help you grow your sales and profits. Remember, if you earn your living in the aftermarket, then Apex is the expo for you. Continue listening as we bring you the latest from Apex 2023. Save the date, October 31st through November 2nd, 2023. Hey, let's face it, your shop management system is the single most important tool in your shop, period. Napa Trax has made selecting the right shop management system easy by offering the industry's best, most comprehensive SMS. Now, it all starts when a local representative meets with you to learn about your business and how you need to run it. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice, and having local representation is a huge plus. Customizing tracks to your business, whether you're a one-person shop or a large multi-bay or multi-location company, a representative consults with you to help optimize your shop's workflow, efficiency, and profitability. Trax always has the flexibility to do business how you need to do it, which means it can also grow as your business grows. And unlike the other guys, we'll be there for you after installation with the best training and support in the business. Yes, a learning management system tailored to each role in your company. Simply put, Trax was designed and built for shop owners just like you. Visit us on the web at NapaTrax, that's NapaTracs.com.
So last night at dinner, there was a picture of these animals. And I guess they were going to adopt a new animal. And somebody showed it to me and says, which one of these do you think Keith would have picked? And there were all different furs on these animals.
Let's go down the Rolodex of all of the animals in your life.
We have 4 dogs. We have a toy poodle. She's getting ready to be 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a 1.5-year-old Great Dane. And then we have 2 new German Shepherd puppies. They are brothers. They are about 18 weeks old, I think, now.
It's like having a pair of velociraptors in your house.
So we had lost a dog in August, and he really was, hey, like, I miss having my dog,
Yeah.
I think every dog kind of picks their human.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so he was really, interested in getting another one. December, Christmas was a little too soon, I think, for us. His birthday's in January. I mean, what do you buy a man that has everything? And I've been, researching for the last couple of months, like, hey, where can we find another puppy, And these puppies just popped up on his birthday on my Facebook page.
Meant to be.
And she had 2 males and a female. And I said, okay, do you want a boy or a girl? And he's like, I think I want a girl. He's like, no, I don't want to deal with that. How about just another boy? I said, okay. So I said, bring both the boys. We want to come meet them and pick. So
let them pick typically. You
Yeah.
let the dog pick you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, he's very into this, which I love so much. So we go there. The kids have no idea. He picks this puppy out. I mean, they match immediately. I mean, just click.
Yep.
And this other puppy just keeps leaning on me and like giving, I swear, the biggest puppy dog eyes I've ever seen. Still, yeah. And I go, why can't we just have both of them? Can't we just please get the other one too? And he goes, yeah, if you think it's going to be, I said, it's 2 puppies at the same time. Like, puppy time.
It's just double the everything, right?
Yeah.
It is 12 times the everything.
Yeah. So I highly recommend 1 puppy at a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're lots of fun.
Yeah.
So that happened in January. So we have currently at the house 20 chickens, baby chicks, and we have 5 goats.
Yep.
And then we have 1 pig. And then last week we got another little piggy.
And that was the picture that I saw.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me about, are pigs smart?
Oh, smart. They are probably the smartest animals we've ever dealt
Yes.
with. Each one, you put them in an area that they have that's theirs, and you set up a little bed for them. The pigs can't regulate their temperature, so we use like a heating blanket and the ability to have some fresh air and stuff. And then, but they're inside. Most of our animals are all inside.
Yeah.
But the goats were inside
The
until
20 chickens?
that they're inside.
They're inside right now. Yeah.
Right.
They're babies.
We're inside where? Oh, they're inside.
Yeah.
They're
yeah.
babies.
Yeah. They have
Yeah.
a little
Okay, the
brood.
goats are inside?
The goats were inside until they got old enough that I could be like, okay, they can take care of themselves. We can put them outside in their area, and we
Yeah.
built a giant, nice enclosure, and they've got shelter, and we built a huge lean-to that's like 12 foot by 6 foot, and
Yeah.
but we built areas for them.
If I
outside.
ever need a place to crash.
That's the one.
Mhm.
We got it. But yeah, so anyways, pigs are smart. Put them in the area and got a little sleeping area. Then you're like, hey, you put a litter box in there, and you put food and water, and they immediately pick up. This is a litter box. I know what to do here.
Yeah.
And that's typically, it's amazing how intelligent they are.
You just keep like moving their stuff into the litter box, and then like kind of like a dog.
That
Like
only happens for like a day or two. And they got it figured out.
It's super super quick.
Yeah.
And then you can take Cheerios, which are it's hilarious. You just buy a big old box of Cheerios, and then you just
Favorite
start.
snacks
Yeah.
for pigs. They
Little
love
piggy
Cheerios.
faces. I love them. So you'll grab the little Cheerio, and you can just start spinning them in circles, and then they get the
They
idea.
go, oh, I got to spin in a circle before I
and
get
then
a Cheerio.
he'll give me he or she'll
Cheerio.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
Sure.
smart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
They'll follow you too, like puppies.
Yeah, similar training that we use for dogs, though. We reward good behavior.
Yeah.
So the puppies will set and down, and even at the age they're at now. So you just reward. You find out if they're food driven or toy driven. It's pretty easy to figure out. German Shepherds are usually food driven to a fault. So we can just whatever they do. If they get close, they sniff their cage. Give them a treat. They get in the cage. Oh, you flood them with treats. Flood them with treats. So yeah, just positive reinforcement.
are you going to start a dog training business as well?
We've made that joke already, but no.
Yeah.
Because we go to we have a Tractor Supply in Atwoods, or like farm and garden stores around us that are
Sure,
small.
yeah, we have
go
that.
in,
We
go
have
in all
that,
the
yeah.
time, and they're like, "You guys train them?" Like, no, they're just our pets, but they need
Yeah.
to be well behaved.
Yeah.
All the animals have been very well behaved. We could take them public places. Max, the shepherd we lost,
Yeah.
was a registered therapy dog, and
So when we say therapy dog, there's a kind of a misconnotation. People think that they're doing something for you. No, actually, they're doing things for the community. So we go to nursing homes, the VA centers, even they go to airports now.
Yep.
Just to help people like calm their nerves.
Anxiety,
it
Yep.
gets a
exactly.
distraction from whatever is making you anxious.
Yeah.
Ah.
Right, an animal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
So for some people listening, I can imagine, think, holy cow, you guys have a business and then you have a whole basically farm at home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it all? But it really seems like your animals are like your love, and that's your
Oh, yeah.
downtime is taking care of the animals.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids and animals. That's
Yep. there's something about animals that they bring a fun joy, like kids, when they're young, and those laughs that just like melt your heart, and those hugs, and animals are similar in that way. They have their own personalities, they have their own likes and dislikes, and
they make you angry, they make you happy.
Yep, 100%.
They
Yeah,
do all the emotions. It's something dependent upon you, right?
Yeah,
It's exactly the same as like a nesting thing.
Yeah, but yeah, we really enjoy it.
The picture Carm saw was 6 or 8 little piggies, and there was one that was just the oddball, the really dark with a little white spot on his head. All the rest of them were light and pink, and so we got the oddball because no one picks out the oddball.
Right.
Yeah, and so Liz says, "Which one do you think Keith picked out?" And I go, "Him in the middle."
Yeah.
And I was right because he was the oddball.
Yeah.
Max, our shepherd, was the one white shepherd. He was all blonde. He was all blonde.
Yeah.
And everyone else, all the other ones were brown, and so we got him. He was the best dog we've ever had.
Mm-hmm. If we could have cloned him, we actually were talking about this earlier. If we could have cloned him, we definitely would have. He was
because you can, but the problem was we had him fixed when he was younger, and so we didn't think ahead.
Yeah,
I would have sold a vehicle to have the money to clone Max. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this look behind the Perkins people.
Yeah.
These are the human side stories of our industry that I just love to get told. So thank you all for listening. Trust me, I think our listener can learn an awful lot with their animal stories.
Yeah.
Industry, let's go back to today. Everybody tells me it's the same people in the room, Carm. We just need to do more. We need to grab more people by the nape of their neck, and speaking of animals, and get them to training, Keith. How are you helping more people grow in the industry?
I think the biggest contribution I have for that is actually leveraging social media. I got pulled into this industry in the training side because I was on YouTube. I was working at a shop, never been to a training event in my life, not a big one. I'd gone to like some local. I had a really great CarQuest instructor that is actually my co-partner every Tuesday and Thursday nights when we do CTI training online. I say co-partner. Glenn does all of the work. I moderate, answer questions, type in the back. So Glenn was my instructor, and he was like, "Have you never been to Vision?" I'm like, "No." And then somebody else I worked with that was kind of a mentor. I had Peter Sarentitis and Bob Augustine, who different places in the industry now. They were both like, "You haven't been to Vision?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You got to go." And Chris Chesney kind of had seen some of my YouTube video stuff, and that's what brought me in. So I'm leveraging that as much as I can. Every YouTube video is, you got to go to training. It doesn't have to be mine. Just go to training. Just better yourself. Find some way to communicate and network. That was what changed everything, was networking. I'm doing a better job at gathering technicians that are already in the field. What I need to do better at is getting people involved in the industry in general, the younger ones, which, it's a broken record. We all talk about that.
Okay. I'm having career day at my school. I'm the principal. I heard about you, or I get my car fixed at your place, or somebody's a good friend of you and say, automotive field, you got to have Keith Perkins come in and talk. What are you going to talk about?
I'm still working on it a little bit, but I've got a bit of a small presentation that involves me coming in and talking about all the things I do, but I don't reveal it's automotive until the end. So we talk about radar and using oscilloscopes and measuring things and doing component level repairs, and we don't talk about getting dirty. We don't talk about oil and grease, and we talk about physics. We talk about the possibility of the engineering student having a career in something that has a massive potential of unlimited freedom in doing something. Currently, if you're going to be in engineering, you're going to go work for somebody. But right now, if you're good at engineering, you can work for yourself in the automotive industry and make out. That's kind of what I'm working on, is this neat presentation that involves all these things that I do that you can do with no college degree, that if you're working towards that and you're that person, or maybe you have college education, and you can apply that to this and be super successful and be very rewarding career.
And I can imagine you near the end, as you say, I know you're all trying to guess what it is that this great industry of mine is. It's a profession. Remember, it's a profession. It's very professional. And oh, by the way, if you've not noticed, it's a high-tech industry. Ooh, and they're going to just, whoa, what could this be? Aviation? What is this? Is this?
That's typically the guess when I talk. When I've piloted this towards individuals.
And to say, one of the most important things that we're starting to learn is the soft skills that are needed in our industry so that we have good bedside manners, just like great doctors have and great nurses have. And by the way, it's the automotive repair business.
Yep.
And you'd probably have everybody sit back in their seat saying, are you kidding me? There's this sloppy, ugly, dirty place that weeds are growing up and it hasn't had a paint job in 30 years.
Yeah.
You're not describing that to me, are you?
So the good news is part of it ends on that because people have said stuff like that. I end up currently the outline has me using pictures of our shop, and we have really, well lit. It's newer. All of our buildings have been newer. We have to keep moving buildings because of size and space. But I think we're home now. I think we're home for the shop for a while.
For at least 3 years.
See, just she knows.
Yeah. So it's how you present it, right? If I was to stand up there in this uniform, this is what we wear at work every day. I typically wear khakis or gray khaki style pants and a shirt that looks just like this, slightly darker gray, has a different name on it because, like we talked about, a couple different names. But yeah, that's even my work uniform is fairly professional. We want to be different. We wear polos.
Can I get up on my soapbox about the uniforms?
Yeah, I hate most uniforms.
It's dark
we wear
blue.
Polos.
It's blue pants. It's blue shirts. Even instructors at colleges that go and visit the schools have. There's not even the school logo. There's not a polo. It's just a blue, dark work shirt. And the reason it's blue or black is because they don't want to show you all the grease. It's a greasy business. Yeah. If we're going to be seen as this high tech, we know it's a profession. Yeah. We know people make a lot of money in this business. Yeah. But if we're going to change our image, we've got to change how we look to the public. And when I was at Vision for 3 days, I was wearing a sport coat most of the time, unless it was in the studio. Most of the people that were sponsors, even though they were dressed professionally, some of them had a sport coat on. Why not walk into the front of a class? You want to even confuse them more? Yeah. Put a sport coat on.
So that's I try to. So I'm still young. I'm a young man. I'm 35. So I have to also look the image sometimes too. I make that distinguishment at an event of other peers, of other professionals, right? I like, look, I want to be on the same level, so I wear my polo and my khakis. But yeah, I go to something like ATMC, or something. Right. We're professionals. I don't dress that way. I wear a suit. I try to be as professional as possible. So
and have clean hands.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my.
I do mostly. I mostly have clean hands.
Well, they are. Surprisingly, and you're right, Trace. Kevin came in a little earlier, our good friend Kevin Eckler.
Yeah.
And he says, we went on that cruise, and he said, I lost all my calluses in the 2 weeks we were gone from the shop.
Yeah.
And he shows them to me, and I says, they're getting there. Yeah. Clean them up, baby. You're in a profession. Yeah. But I think there's certain people that's their battle scars.
For a period of time, that was a big point of pride. Her youngest brother, he would notice that he's like, your hands have grease in them. And this is back earlier on in my career. And I wore that with pride.
Now, just to clarify, my brother is 14 years younger than me.
Right.
Actually, today is his 19th birthday.
Yeah.
He was young. He's kind of grown up with Keith, too,
Yeah. So it was one of those things. He would point it out, and I'd be like, I take care of my family with these hands. So it was big for me then. And now I get to make the same thing. I take care of my family with these hands, but they're also clean now.
You can get in front of that group when they ask you the question, I thought this was a dirty, greasy business, and you say, we all wear gloves so that we can have clean hands for our families.
Yes, I have that. I put big foam thick rubber pads at every single lift corner. They're everywhere. I'm like, protect your knees, take care of your body.
Right.
What's funny is we're all relatively young at my shop. The oldest individual at my shop is 37 years old.
Yeah.
And that's our new guy. The guy with the least amount of experience in the industry.
I'm hearing more and more. I am so excited by, and I don't want to say it's a youth movement, but there are so many young people. We're finding them. We're teaching them. They're encouraged by the atmosphere and the culture inside the businesses.
Yeah.
There's two families.
Yeah.
There's the work family that you have to consider. The word family is huge.
Yeah.
And then there's, of course, your extended family, and that would be their family. We did an episode with Matt and 3 mobile techs, and I asked the question of one of these guys, anybody ever come up to you and say, hey, you know a better place to work? And he said, I have to be very careful to say anything, But Carm, they asked me, not for a better place, but you know of a place that has a better atmosphere to work in. And what they're really saying is culture.
Yes. Yeah. That's the biggest part for us. She's smiling at me because of all the little things that we were talking about. Somebody was Instacart or whatever. They were dropping off Instacart order at the shop.
I mean, we talk about how we don't have a lot of time, so we pay for the time. Yeah. Right? Instacart is one of those ways.
Yeah.
And the lady came in. She was a much younger lady. She says she's been, according to the app, had been working for Instacart for 3 years as a shopper. And she came in with a wagon. I mean, she's really thinking with her head, not making 17 trips, right? She comes with a wagon, and I'm taking Rice Krispies. I mean, this is from Sam's. I'm taking these giant Rice Krispies out and putting them in this drawer. And it's a Milwaukee toolbox. And she's looking, and she kind of like steps back, and she like kind of looks up around the corner.
Didn't know where she was
turned
at.
around. She had no idea what was happening. And she goes, why do you guys put them in a toolbox? And I said, oh, this is our break room. We give our guys a budget, and they can pick whatever they want for the, couple weeks or month or whatever for snacks, Yeah. And so Rice Krispies is probably the number one thing that they request.
Pop-Tarts, Reese's Pieces, popcorn, and
Capri Sun.
Capri Suns and Fig Newtons, the big Fig Newtons. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about the Rice Krispies. Are they having it like a cereal with milk?
No. Rice
marshmallow
Krispie treats.
Oh,
the Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
And then we stocked the fridge. Some of the guys like Powerade, some like Gatorade, some of them
Some like zero sugar stuff. Some of them like, oh no, I can't have zero sugar.
Dr. Pepper.
So Mountain Dews.
Are you addicted to that, Dr. Pepper?
No, that's one of our guys.
Oh, one of our guys. Okay.
Yeah. And so they collectively come together and like, hey, we're, this is what we want now. We want Dr. Pepper, or next month it's maybe Mountain Dew, or maybe it's just Propel. Or one time I accidentally got a new one for them to try. Like I was like, hey, let's try this. Bad. I won't say the name because it's not fair, but there was this
you dropped every other one.
I know, right?
Oh, sorry. Well, it's not fair to give negative publicity.
Okay.
Anyways,
the point of that was that lady walked into the building and did not recognize it was an automotive repair shop.
Yeah.
She thought she was bringing it to something, and then she kind of like, wait, that's a toolbox? What? Started looking at, because we put all of our, this tag will be hanging up in our office on Monday, along with the 65 other ones from all of our techs and all the training events we go to. Line the walls with them is what we do.
I think on the refrigerator, though, don't we still have the magnet?
Oh, yeah.
And it says our name, what it is.
Can I tell you my observation?
Mm-hmm.
You described a person to me that is flooded with common sense.
Mm-hmm.
She observed, she tried to figure it out what's going on here. It wasn't just a job. She knew she was bringing something to a place that didn't fit in her mind.
Right.
And other people would just drop it off and leave. They were just delivering. She was delivering something even more, and that was, I want to learn about who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
Our biggest problem today, I think, is the lack of common sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got to think from her mindset. She's typically delivering to a house. How often is somebody catering in snacks all the time for their employees?
Yeah, I see.
To just have an open.
And again, there's the common sense. What's all this about?
Yeah. What is this? Is different.
This is all sugar high stuff. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
It was a neat thing for us. Pretty prideful moment when we recognized an individual walked in and didn't go, this smells like a shop. This looks like a shop. This, all those things. Walked past that, and then it clicked that she's like, oh, this is for people that work here. This isn't this isn't for the office. This isn't for whatever. This is for everybody.
I think she might have even made the comment like, oh, I should work here or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody should work somewhere where they're appreciated and happy. And I think that's no matter what industry you're in, you should be happy every day.
Yeah. Damn right. Well, I'm going to give you each a last word here in a sec, but you got to watch for that foodie thing that Tracy, it's going to take you hours to edit that.
Yes, it
hours.
will. Yeah.
It's going to take you hours.
By next TST, it'll be ready.
Okay, just checking.
You've got to count on the screen each course.
Okay.
Do a count.
Do a tally.
Oh, course one. Oh yeah, we can put some overlays on it.
Yes.
Huh?
There we go.
That would be a whole lot of fun. I like that. I mean. She's got like an hour and a half worth of video.
It was a lot of courses.
And I'm standing next to them, and they're going. I mean, here's the mozzarella. They're going, no. 10 minutes on mozzarella. I'm saying, come on.
There's a lot more coming.
We love food. We love it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. Oh, this was a blast.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Get the websites for training, at least.
Yeah, L1training.com. Letter L, the number 1, the word training.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
And of course, the mobile business, the brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you're going to change the name of the company to L1 Auto Group. I love that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably does. And then you go to that website, and then everything is there, right?
You're gonna have to do that.
So easy to get to. But you're a genius. You'll know how to link it all together. Right?
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Some of those domains are fun ones though, so
Yeah.
could be whatever.
Interesting. I'd love to know what the 30 of them that you own are. Any final thing for the industry, Liz?
I'm proud to say that I'm part of it.
Yeah.
It's a really awesome group of people.
You ever going to get out and stage like Keith does? And train?
People keep saying that. I was talking in the bar last night. People are like, yeah, you should do training. You should do training. You're really passionate about this. I'm like, I am. I just don't know if I want to get in front of people to do that.
There's an encourager that we all need to have someday. They see something in me that I may not.
Yeah.
And so don't count yourself out, because what I see is both of you on stage playing off of each other.
Yeah.
That would be right there, the basic fundamentals of electricity. You perfumed that pig. It was called Advanced Application of Fundamental Electrical Theory, or Basic Electric.
Yeah.
Fabulous how you sold that. The room never emptied, because they realized, oh my God, I got this. I can imagine you both doing that together.
Yeah.
Anyway, when you start doing that, please let me know. I was right. Final words, man.
Similar to her thought, I'm just fortunate that this industry has taken care of my family and done everything. That's why I like teaching, like watching it happen, like watching other individuals catch it and go, I can use that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's good enough for me. But my number one thing is go to training. Go watch it. Watch it online. You can watch this. There are people watching live right now.
Yeah.
What's happening out there?
Yeah, there are. And that's the beauty of TST.
I echo the same thoughts. I think it's really important to go to training. First coming into this industry, I had no idea there was automotive training. It just wasn't really a thought. And what I'm seeing is so many people developing friendships all around the country.
Yeah.
And I think maybe some, and I'm assuming technicians maybe feel a little on an island when they have friends all across the country and a huge network, and they can go to events and see them in person. I think that really brings their level of skill up, and it keeps them activated and keeps them engaged and excited, because, Keith, you say all the time, you guys are bouncing around on chats and talking about a problem. And so I think that also helps you kind of not feel like you're alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tracy. I have to stop calling her the nickname that I give her all the time.
There's many nicknames.
Yeah, I used to call her French Fry, Trinket, and Little Girl. And every once in a while, I want to say that in a public thing. So I just said it to the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Liz and Keith Perkins, thanks for being here from L1 Auto Group.
Thank you.
Thanks, Con.
Thanks
so
Thanks,
much.
Tracy.
Thank you.